Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday. It's Wellness Wednesday. And on this Wellness Wednesday, here we are, Wally.com, and my most interesting guest today. I'm not going to tell you anything about her. I'm going to let her talk for herself. But it is my privilege, my pleasure, my honor, my duty to welcome you to the Black Homeschooling Families Support Group weekly chat. And this week, don't be saying, yeah, it's not your turn yet. I'm still trying to talk about it. Look, you're just so excited to have something to give to people. Look at you.
I can't help it.
You're about as thirsty for attention on this subject as I am. So wait your turn, Adrian. I got to tell the people a couple things. I have to first tell them that the Black Homeschooling Family Support Group is an online support group that you can find right here on Facebook, but you'll be able to see us on other places, such as YouTube. This is a place where people who want to homeschool need support, need motivation. Above that, they need resources and pats on the back. That's what you will find here. Because what we're suggesting that you do is educate your child in a way that you probably never thrown conscious attention to, but you know something about our current educational system needs to change. If you want to be that change in your child's life, if you can be a member of the Black Homeschooling Family Support Group, I can guarantee that you have everything that you need to be successful, including resources and motivation. Adrian, do you agree with that?
Yes, indeed. I find so much help and just camaraderie around amongst the people in the group so far. I've been in it for about maybe 4 months, and it's nice.
Now that the people know that you like my group, because they liked it because I was in it, but I want them, I want you to tell them, who are you and how did you stumble across this group?
Well, my name is Adrian Brown, and I homeschool. I've been homeschooling for a while now, and I was just looking for more people that look like me, actually, because all of the other groups I belong to, you don't see very many African-American homeschoolers, and this group offers that. I mean, it's not only African-American people, because there's a lot of biracial people in here. I have biracial children, some of them, and I was just looking for some brown people, period, you know, that loved homeschooling. I had the same sort of mindset.
It becomes important. And I don't want us to gloss over this, but why is it important that the people look like you?
Because I want my children to know that there are others out there that have the same mindset. They feel they love their children. They want what's best for their children. And, you know, that there are people out there. Because it's not, you don't see it very often. When I first started homeschooling way back in 96, I guess, I hardly ever saw any Black homeschoolers. Actually, as a matter of fact, I didn't know any. I say that in my writings too, in my book, but I just I didn't see any Black homeschoolers.
Excuse me. What writings of these are you talking about?
Oh, my book. I wrote a book, you know, talking about my experiences and what I went through when I first started homeschooling, and how I got through it, and how I really didn't know anything about homeschooling, but using my the little faith that I had in God at the time, I went ahead and did it, and we accomplished it. And now, you know,
what's the name of the book? And the reason I'm concerned about it now is experience is the best teacher. And I used to have this back and forth with my mom when I was growing up, and I was like, you know, Mom, I got to experience it for myself. Then I can run tell the story. And she used to say, you know, if I tell you that that's hot, you don't have to touch it to find out that it's hot. Well, I didn't believe my hand on the stove. You can actually hear somebody else's words. It can be an impact on your life. So what's the name of this book we need to be picking up?
Well, it's called Commanded to Homeschool, and it's the story of my freedom. And when I say freedom, the freedom from the mindset of I had to do it a particular, well, the set way that I saw most people do. So it's called Commanded to Homeschool.
What is the set way?
You know, that everyone has to raise up their children and send them to preschool and kindergarten in the public school system. And I mean, that's what I thought. I had no idea that there was any other way.
Are you telling me it's okay to not do it that way?
Amen. Yes, I am, most definitely.
like that's not the premise of this whole group. That's not what this thing is all about. But I'm so glad that you're one of my guests, because they hear it from us often, but it's good to have another person say, no, it does not have to be this way. It doesn't have to happen this way. You are your own person with your own ideas, thoughts, and concepts. And so publicly and privately, I want to thank you for being a tangible something that people can look at. And in fact, it's so beautiful. When I say look at, pull your camera down so they can see your beautiful smile.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Thank you. Oh,
my camera keeps going up.
There it is now, because it makes a difference. Wally, what difference are you talking about? It makes a difference when I can look at somebody who looks like me, who has done the things that I'm trying to do.
Yes.
That's why I need them to see all of you, because you ain't no computer model. You just ain't nothing that I need them to know that you are real.
Yes.
And because you are real, if you did it, they can do it. Not so much just for your kids, but I heard that you adopted some kids and did it with them too.
Oh yeah. We are currently, we adopted 4 children, and we are homeschooling them also, and they are doing very well. I mean, nothing is 100% peachy keen, I guess, there's without problems, but my children are flourishing. They were, some of them were in public school, and they had them written up they actually had them on a path to failure. But we changed the script. We changed the script with homeschooling them. Yep.
Tell me about this path to failure, because as a speech pathologist who has worked in the school system and being married to a kindergarten teacher, they ain't gonna believe me if I tell them that the way, shut up girl when I'm talking, they ain't gonna believe it if I say the way that thing is designed in the public educational school system really isn't designed for,
yes.
Okay. That's going to be our 10-cent word for the day, because I was trying to use the microphone, but you went ahead and you said melanated. Exactly right. I don't want to be the one to say it, me with my speech therapy experience, being married to a teacher. So you tell me a little bit about how you feel about the melanated experience in public school versus the benefit of it coming from a homeschooling environment.
Well, my problem that I found with my children is that the ones that we adopted, that when they were in the public school system, they had, particularly the boys, they already had them on a track to nowhere, really, because they to a track to nowhere, as if they could not make it.
Like that, man.
And they had them going to, instead of regular class, they were in the IEP program. They were saying that they were incapable of learning, that they had anger issues, that they were just violent, just all these wild accusations.
I know that from personal experience, because my daddy will tell you, they tried to medicate me. They tried to say, oh, he has too much energy. This is unnatural. He can't sit down. He can't focus. He can't pay attention.
Yes.
But it wasn't about the inability to focus. It wasn't about the inability to pay attention. It was about the fact that I was being shown things that really weren't pertinent to me. I was being educated in a way that really wasn't intended for me.
Yes,
it's kind of like when if you appreciate the fact that at one time the nation had segregated schools and we had to fight for inclusion into the segregated schools, that kind of just goes to show, this school system won't never meant for you. And it's kind of like as hard as they fought to keep us out of there, most certainly they're not going to change the curriculum to be inclusive. And so then it becomes a logical point to think like, Nope, it's not designed for our children, which is why the large majority of those in detention happen to look like me.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Because they run all over the teacher. How do I know that? You see my chaperone badge? You see?
Yes.
I'm on a field trip right now because that's what Feather Philosophy is about today. It's about dad helping take care of everything. So even though I do homeschooling sometime with my little one, I came with my older child on the field trip today just so that I can help to influence the way he's understanding.
Yes. Great.
Because
Great.
they're not teaching him the way I teach him because they don't look like him, number one. And he receives lessons differently. He receives lessons differently. Like I can tell him go sit down in a way that his teacher will say go sit down, and he won't be respectful to that.
That is so true.
Well, but it's not that he's a disrespectful child. To me, as a speech pathologist, I receive she's just not able to engage him in a manner that speaks to his soul and to his core.
Yes.
When mom and dad do it at home, what do you think happens then?
Oh, you better believe they jump and they do what they're told to do. My kids, I didn't have that problem. When it was just such a different picture from what they painted to what I had at home. And I knew it was because they didn't have somebody like me on him all day long. I mean, I don't mean on him being rude and mean, but I channel that energy into the right place. And we teach him respect, period. First, respect yourself, and then you respect me and dad. And if you want to make it, you're gonna have to do it. You have to do it because they're not for you, period. And and that's not to say that there's not any good teachers, because I know your teacher, there's lots of good teachers out there. But I'm just saying the majority of the teachers, like for instance, in his school, all of the teachers were white females. And I'm not saying all white females are bad, but they don't know how to use that voice and that demeanor and that attitude and what that
as a speech pathologist. I mean, call a spade a spade. Why can't we speak factually? Why can't I say as a speech pathologist, I understand that a white female does not have the resonating fundamental frequency that's going to shock an African-American boy to his core?
Yes. Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
Those are just facts. We're talking about fundamental frequency of the voice and internalizing vibrations. And so, no, that's why the dad voice, go sit down.
Yes.
That's why the dad voice carries a little bit more than, all right now. I mean, we got off into a different tangent here. We're talking about vibrations instead of homeschooling now. But I mean, it all goes into the same thing. But you know, to bring it back to homeschooling, we live in an environment where people like to have results. And when they get results, they want to know what's the benchmark for these results. So my question to you is, how did you know that your children were being successful in homeschooling?
Well, what I did at first, I used to test them in the early using what's called the CAT test. I did that myself, and if they did well, I was satisfied. But I wanted to go beyond myself, so I used the Iowa test and the ACTs and SATs, something that my hands were off, and they did so well that I knew that what we were doing at home was successful. And not to mention, we didn't sit at a desk all day long to get these results. We did homeschooling. They did their work and got to it and finished it. And when the end of the year was upon us, we took the testing and they did well. You're in my camera.
I was about to say, nope, go on and bring that one on camera because I want to talk to that person. Come on. I don't know who it is. Come on.
Say hi now.
I said, come on. And he going to say more than hi. We got some talking to do.
This is my fifth son. And he is here. Can you hear him? And he is a ninth grader now.
Hey, friend, how are you?
Good.
I just want to let you know right now that you are talking to the entire Black population of the United States of America and to the Republic for which it stands. Not trying to put you on the spot, but it's a lot of people who would like to know more about where you are. You're being homeschooled. How do you feel about that? And I don't care if she's sitting right there. You give me a gut reaction. If you don't like it, I'll come to your house and save you. Tell me about your experience and how you like homeschooling.
Well, my experience is I love it because like back when I was in school, I was like they had me an IEP and all that other stuff.
See, he was in public school before. He's one of the ones I adopted. Keep telling me.
So you feel you're being more successful with homeschooling? Why?
Well, I mean, like I can like challenge myself and do what I can and go to the best I can do.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I don't know. I'm thinking a doctor.
My sister's a doctor. So you're looking at somebody who by connection grew up with somebody who went on to become a doctor. So right now, I just want to speak into your life, if you don't mind, that anything that your heart, anything that your mind, anything that you set the both of them on in unison, that we're speaking over you right now to say that if you want to be a doctor, that's fine. But guess what, baby? If you don't want to be a doctor, guess what? That's fine too, because you have greatness and power inside of you that you have yet to tap into, but you're on the right road now. So you just keep doing what you're doing and get out of her shot. Go back to the shot. We're done with you now. Thank you. Thank you for your input, young man.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Elijah, bye. Yeah, that's my son right there.
It's nothing. And anybody will tell you it's nothing like a tangible product. And one of the reasons I wanted to pull him on camera and ask him fast is because you didn't have time to script him or prepare him. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. I'm a gangster. With this. Y'all got to understand.
I know the gangster ways.
That's right. Because they love my gangster walk. I wanted to ask him off the cuff because you know kids don't lie. Kids don't lie. Even if they over mama showed, if they think they might have an alibi somewhere, they're gonna tell that truth. And so if this was not something that to his core he really believed in, we would have, even if he lied because this is visually recorded on camera, we would have been able to see some telltale signs that he did not subscribe to what he was saying.
Yes.
But the fact that he knows that he used to be in IEPs but now he can challenge himself, that's what you are doing.
Yes. And he's highly intelligent. He just needs someone to believe in him. That's all. And I'm that someone.
Don't we all? And you know, little personal transparency. I used to I have trouble with that. And so, you know, if we're raising children, and that's something that I'm trying to do better with by the generation. I don't want my children to ever think their wings won't support them, because I've lived a life where even though I know that my wings aren't strong, you know, there's that thing that they say, help my unbelief. It's the unbelief that we have problems with. But from what I'm hearing, especially on the back of an interview I had last week with the Uhuru Academy, where they actually are teaching this, where they have like 11-year-olds who know exactly what it is they want to do in life. So I think that what we're doing in homeschooling is almost like erasing that unbelief and instilling so much earlier things that they need when they get onto this battlefield called life.
So say it again. You asked me a question.
No, I was just making a good point right there, and that just felt so good. I wanted to drop the mic, but look, it's plastic, and I didn't want to break it, so so I just had to take a breather right there.
I know you were talking. I was like, he didn't ask me a question, did he?
I didn't, but I will throw it back for you because. Like I said, I like to bring people up here who at one point knew absolutely nothing about homeschooling. So I need for you to give just a good word, a good piece of advice to the first one, somebody thinking about doing this.
Well, I just like to encourage people that if it's something that you truly want to do in your heart, I mean, you have to really want to do it. My husband tells people it is not for everybody. Homeschooling is not for the ones who's just doing it just because they're angry. No, you have to be seriously committed. 100%. It takes 100% commitment because you know, it requires your all in all. Not to say that you can't do for yourself, because I run 2 or 3 different businesses, but still, I know that I have to give all of myself to these kids and their future, or else they're going to be lost while I pull them out of school and they're not gaining anywhere. So that it requires me to go where I have to go, meet the people I need to meet, purchase whatever I need to whatever books and supplies that I need to educate them. Not meaning that I have to spend thousands of dollars, because I have jumped in some garbage bins to get books sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
But that's another interesting point right there. And I want you to tell them, because they don't believe Wally when Wally tells them it doesn't take a lot to get this done.
No. I mean, I have friends who work at like private schools, and at the end of the school, they said, "Adrian, come on, these kids are throwing their books away. Come get them." I have done that. Believe me, I have done it, because I'm like, okay, if I can get the book that I need for next year, I'm going to get it. And I have jumped in some trash cans and got them. And my husband, God has been so good to us that I could just think of something and he would send it. A set of encyclopedias at the time. I'm serious.
Wait a minute. Hey, you talking about manifestation. We're going to have us a whole nother show for manifestation.
I'm not talking any kind of like weird stuff. I'm just telling you the truth. That's what happened throughout my whole homeschooling career. And because of that, I think because I was committed 100%, that God provided everything I needed to homeschool these kids. Yeah.
You gonna make me break out into a shout. I'm trying to keep my peace and I'm trying to keep my seat. But you've got to talk about how the goodness will always give you the provision for the vision. I can't do this right now. Oh, but I want to skip back to something that you spoke about real briefly. You glossed over the fact that you have a support system. And 2 things that I've noticed, and I'm going to say these 2 things, and I want you to talk more about them. But your support system, one, is the family support group. We know about it online, but you also have some physical support. You said that you had a friend tell you to come get some resources. So I need for you to tell the people about having support.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You know, in the beginning, like I said, I talk about in my book, I didn't know anyone that homeschooled. So it wasn't until I found a permanent church that I went to, and I met other Black homeschooling families. And then I went to them, and they helped me out in the beginning because I didn't know what I was doing. And then through those same people, I met people who were public school and private school teachers. They helped me. They said, if you need this, Adrian, come here and I can help you find these books. I can help show you where to go online. In the beginning, I was very afraid because I didn't know anything about it. But then that support came, you know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, my husband, he was very supportive with me. I mean, for our tract of homeschooling. And a support system is very helpful. And you can find people in many ways to help you from different avenues and different circles of your life. You can find some people that are willing to help you.
And you know, this kind of piggybacks into the direction that our society is going in. Every part of our society is touched by some type of networking. And I know that MLM has gotten a bad rap lately because, you know, people don't make no money in it, then they want to talk bad about it. But I have stopped, girl, because I was one of them. Glory to God. Shut up, child. Anyway. Keep it together. Anyway, but just like with the Facebook group, I'm noticing that, and even just what you said, networking, getting out there, talking to people, and building relationships. That seems to be something that has helped you as well. Can you talk to me about networking?
Yeah, networking is absolutely key because that's how I'm talking to you now. Actually, when you think about it, going through the homeschool.
Make it real, make it plain. Because I mean, this is unscripted truth. Go ahead with that.
I mean, seriously, that's how I got into the group. I met Lottie. some of the other ladies in the group, and they introduced me to other people. They encouraged me to get online and share my story with people in the group. And Lottie has been very instrumental in helping me to get to talk more on Facebook live, showing my face, because I do a lot of posting, but I rarely put my face online.
All right. Now we're going to kind of veer a little bit, because that's interesting to me. Why not? Why weren't you putting your face online?
Because I just didn't want. I mean, I don't know. Something about it just made me feel like I was being like, who want to hear what I have to say? That's what I'm thinking. I'm not that important that I need to have my face on Facebook all the time, and no one wants to hear that. So that's just the way I felt about it.
I guess my response to that is there's a difference. This gonna be my shout cue. They gonna make me get different scenery for this shout cue. This gonna be so good. Because my thing is, where them leaves at? My thing is, it might not be about who wants it, but what I'm finding is it's about who needs it. And a lot of times, I know personally for me, I've been exposed to things that I didn't even know that I needed at the time. And so you're not wanting to put your face on Facebook, but I'm telling you, it is people who are desperate to hear these words that you have shared with me. And so, I'll take a little point right here to encourage everybody. If you've got skills, if you've got gifts, if you've got abilities, basically, if it was laid on your heart to say it, it was laid on your heart to say it for a reason. And no, you might feel that nobody wants to hear it. But it's kind of like that whooping your mama gave you. You didn't want that whooping, but shut up, girl. I got to change my scenery again. I got to change my scenery again, because it was not that I wanted that whipping. But deep down inside, she would tell me we needed that whipping.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's for your own good.
Glory to his name. And so is there anything else in your spirit that you think that you might not want to do, but because we've had this conversation, you might consider doing it, understanding somebody might need it?
Well, the thing is, because of, like I said, because of this group and Lottie's encouragement, I am putting my book out there, and I'm working on a course that can help, because I want to help younger women. I know there are some younger women out there who need somebody of my experience to help them walk through being a mom, through being a wife, to home management, and and entrepreneurship, showing them that you can do all of those things as one person. I mean, like Jesus is a triune God, is a triune God.
Come on here now.
We ain't triune, but he has given us many things we can do,
That's right.
Without falling apart. I mean, I met a lot of younger women who just feel so overwhelmed. And I think it's because they just need the blueprint to walk to walk the steps. It's not, I mean, life is hard, and I have had a lot of trials and tribulations, but I have gotten through them. God has gotten me over every hurdle. And like I told Lottie, I have 4 grown-up sons who are gone. They're 2 graduated from homeschool college. They're in the military officers, and 2 that are in college right now, and they are doing fine. I mean, they're not perfect, but they are very well adjusted in the world. I didn't shelter them all their lives.
I do believe that's a testament to the success of your homeschooling program. You got 4 of them who done grown up to have the accolades that you just listed and the accomplishments that they have. No, I think that definitely speaks to somebody who's talking to me saying, at one point, I had no clue with what I was doing with homeschooling. Yes. I jumped in, I found me a support group, and I have 4 grown children I put through the process. And I've come back to pick up 4 more babies because I know how to do this. Am I right so far?
Yes, indeed.
And now that you done got so good at it, because you're not going to say that you're good, because you want to sit over there and be humble. But don't worry. This is what the microphone is for. This is why, because I couldn't do that. I could not do that. And when you acknowledge that somebody has the capacity to do something that you're not capable of, well, then you have to applaud that. And so I applaud, because I only got 2 kids. I don't plan on jumping in the gene pool no more. Man, look, I couldn't be trying to take on some other churn to try to be. So no, what you are offering.
Oh my goodness.
I'm intrigued by this coursework that you're putting together, because a large part of feather philosophy is you're right, helping the women. If the men would put themselves in a position where they could be of support to the women who are responsible for taking care of the children, then our society would improve itself.
Oh, yes.
It sounds like you're putting coursework to get me, and you're going to have to collaborate, because if I got the man piece, listen to this, if I got the man piece, and you're telling me that you're putting coursework together to help the woman understand she's capable of doing this, and you're going to give her resources to help her figure this out. Am I tracking all of this?
Oh yeah. That's right. I want to make her feel secure, safe, and empowered in her position as being a mom, and being that woman that I'm every woman song, that old Shaka Khan song.
It's only me.
Seriously.
Yes.
And I mean, not to be arrogant about it, but you can do it. God has given you.
Excuse me. There's a difference between being cocky and being confident.
Yeah,
I'm cocky because I can back it up. I'm confident because I can back it up. And so, no, I think with your accolades, with the fact that you have the 4 grown children and you come back to get some more, I don't think that's being arrogant. As my granddad would say, I got to kiss the ring. That's a fact. That's just a fact. You're just talking in facts on the back of something you have already done and have the people to prove it. And so no, ma'am, I won't let you reduce. I won't let you simmer that down to arrogance, because it's not. It's just you merely stating facts. Well, keep going.
So, like I said, this course is gonna offer, in not book form, but papers and videos, so that they can actually interact with it and just learn from it. I'm gonna provide steps that they can use to put into their everyday life to change their mindset, so to speak, and to embrace their power, because God has empowered them and they can do it. If I can do it, and I did it first with 4 boys, and believe me, it was no joke raising 4 boys. And my husband has always been a support, my backbone, my support. Without him, believe me, I wouldn't have been able to do the things that I have done, for sure. But you can do it. You can do it. I wasn't in the beginning when I first started. I was a single mom. I had 2 kids and I was a single mom. So that was hard too.
I feel like the old people, the spirit is laying this question on my heart to ask you.
You feel like the spirit laid the question.
Right. Now I see why the old people used to formulate them questions like that, because you can't get in trouble if the spirit asks you to ask that question. That wasn't me, child. The spirit has led me to ask you this. Okay. Indeed, the spirit has led me to ask you, is the population that you're finding the most in need single mothers who are wishing to take this journey?
Well, not really.
Amen.
I mean, a lot of the women are married. It's just that they're young and they feel like they just can't handle it. Being all things in the house. You know what I mean? They don't feel like they can. That's what I'm finding. And I think, to me, I almost feel like it's just they need to just know that they can do it. That's what I'm always admonishing them to do. Just, you can do it. Stop feeling like you're so weak. You're not. You're not this shrinking violet. You're strong. You have it in you. You can do everything you need to run your home, to care for your kids. Unless you're sick or handicapped, or have something like that, you got the powers to do it. You just have to believe it and get up and do it and embrace it. That's the way. I don't know. I don't like to talk too badly, but I'm just saying, women, just these young women just have to understand. Because see, I work with social services and foster care, and that's what I see a lot, that the women just don't feel like, they just don't feel capable of taking care of the kids or raising their children, or that they have what's in them, a lot of them, you know? So anyway.
You know, we're gonna have to do us a separate show, because we segued into issues that some people might say this has absolutely nothing to do with what this interview started as, but I think it has everything to do with a lot of the issues that bleed into our education system that we have to take care of at home. And so this is great. This is nourishing to my soul. I'm glad we're having this opportunity. One of the biggest things I'm hearing from you is there is a need to educate those who will charge themselves with educating the children, that they are capable.
Yes.
Is that what? So there's just a need to be informing people of their greatness and their capacity to do this.
Yes. I mean, and it's not that you have to have all of the education in the world. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world. You don't have to know everything in the world. You don't have to have all the money in the world in order to accomplish this, because I was able to do it without that stuff. Even though I don't consider myself dumb, I'm street smart. I would say that, you know, because I come from the hood, so to speak. And seriously,
see, there's a difference between book smarts and street smarts. Like,
yes.
my sister's a doctor. She is brilliant. But if you dropped her off in the hood, heaven help her. Shut up and don't y'all show her this interview. Don't y'all show my sister this, and don't tell her I said this. Then she'll be trying to get book knowledge on me, and then I had to go street on her, and see that ain't gonna work. And so it's good to hear someone say that when and correct me if I interpret this wrong, but what I believe I heard was, when I started out, I did not have all the book smarts that I felt that I needed, but the street smarts that I had was adequate to get me started.
Yes, because it gave me that special push that I needed to know that I can get it done. And I knew, because from where I came from, I knew that I wanted something more. And I certainly wanted something more for my children. I did not want my children to have to go through what I went through. And, you know, so that helped me a lot. It really did. That gave me the tenacity to keep going.
Wait a minute. Because because people look down on hustlers. People look down. Shut up, girl. This thing got good. Let me find me a new space. I got to talk some more. You know, people talk bad about hustlers and people coming up with ways to try to make it. But it sounded like in the beginning of this homeschooling thing, you was just a homeschooling hustler.
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. I used those hustling skills. And it got me what I needed. Seriously.
And you know, that is one of the good things about Latta. Miss Latta has taught a lot of people how your street hustling are actually marketable corporate concepts and ideas that we just don't know about.
Yes, indeed. And I have learned that throughout these years of homeschooling, you know, and it helped. And not only that, it helped me to learn to communicate with other people, and it brought me to different mantras that I never knew. Like, for instance, the saying that is attributed to Henry Ford, that I can find a man or a woman in 5 minutes to teach what I don't know. So I live by that, because if I didn't know it, I just found me a man or a woman that did know it.
You have to say that again. Things that need to be put into the subconscious, we have to repeat. Repetition is how we learn. So tell the people that one again.
I said I live by, I can find a man or a woman in 5 minutes to teach my kids what I didn't know. And I work, and that's how it worked. I didn't know algebra 2, but I found plenty of friends that did. And my kid, I have a son that became an engineer.
And see, that's what people need to know, that here I am, and I don't know Algebra 2, but because of networking and because of getting out here and because of just jumping in the water and doing my best, the universe provided me with what I needed to get it done. People need to know that that's how this thing works.
Yes, and there's plenty of people out there. If I didn't know, if I needed my children to learn writing, I found someone who was an English expert. You know what I mean? And they taught them how to write. And so I didn't teach them instruments. They all play instruments. I have an oboist, a violinist, I have a saxophone player. I didn't teach it to them, but I found people that knew how to do it. They all
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That. So, okay. As you've journeyed along this homeschooling thing, as you reach the point where you are now, I believe it's fair to say that it's now paying you dividends or putting something back into your pocket. Just the homeschooling experience had. Don't be laughing. Don't be laughing. Cause shut up, girl. Now I got to move my stuff again. Look, I'm gonna tell the people how this thing works, and you gonna vouch for me. The way this thing works is this: you do something for a little while, and you gain some experience on it. And once you gain some experience about it, and you write about it, at that moment you then become an authority, and then other people become to seek your professional opinion. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my people have bought my book, so I guess if that's what if that's considered that, yeah, I have gotten money from selling my book. And now I'm trying to venture into like I said, the course thing and speaking engagement. So I know I'm gonna get there.
That's all I'm hearing is just get started. Just get started and you'll be fine. Is that fair to say? Just get started and we'll be fine?
Yes, indeed.
This has been great. Oh, no. Where can they find your books?
Oh, well, we can go, it's at Amazon.com, of course. Just look for Commanded to Homeschool by Adrienne Brown, Amazon.com.
Commanded to Homeschool by Adrienne Brown.
Commanded to Homeschool. Mm-hmm.
Wait, say it one more time. Commanded. Now, when you say the title in the bookstore, do you have to do your head like that?
Yes, Commanded.
Okay, so I'll be going to Barnes and Noble later on today. I'm like, ma'am, yes, I'm looking for Commanded to Homeschool.
Yes, indeed.
This has been, as all of the Black Homeschooling Family Support meetings and interviews, this has been just another one for our books. I encourage anyone who is catching this on a replay to find Adrienne's books and drop questions and comments, because even though this is recorded live, we're not adverse to coming back and following up, having conversation and networking. Adrienne, is there anything that you'd like to say to the people before we leave?
Well, I just want to say thank you for listening to me, having me on the talk show. And I just pray that women who are out there wanting to do it and feeling self-doubt, get with me, contact me, go to my website and practicalmindedness.com, and you will find more encouragement there also.
Say that again. What was that website?
It's practicalmindedness.com. It's like
practicalmindedness.com.
Yes. And
Adrienne Brown, it has been my pleasure. It has been my privilege to exchange these words with you today and to spend this time with you today. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a presentation from the Black Homeschooling Family Support Group that you can find on Facebook or you can find on YouTube. You get in this group, ask your questions. Once you start asking your questions, that'll give you the confidence to jump. And once you jump, if you look at my guest here, Miss Adrienne, she'll tell you, you'll be fine. Thank y'all for attending.
Thank you. Bye.